You've heard of Stonehenge in England? Well, this is CARhenge in Nebraska. I'm Jamie.
I'm Linda.
And this is Roaming with Rosie.
On our way to the Black Hills of South Dakota, we decided to spend a little time visiting the northwest corner of Nebraska. This was in spite of their new state motto, Nebraska, honestly, it's not for everyone. Seriously, that's their motto. On last week's episode, we shared other things to see and do in this part of Nebraska, including Scottsbluff National Monument and Chimney Rock, both historical landmarks for those pioneers that headed west. On this episode, we'll show you more reasons that this part of Nebraska does in fact have something for everyone. For this leg of the trip, our campsite was located in Fort Robinson State Park in Crawford, Nebraska. Located on more than 22,000 acres of Pine Ridge scenery, this fort was operated from 1874 until after World War II. Many of the original buildings survive and remain in use today. Several of these have been converted to lodging for guests in the park. You can stay in the 1909 enlisted men's quarters or rent out a former officer's home which dates from 1874. It's also a popular destination for family reunions as some of the buildings will accommodate up to 60 people under the same roof. As a remount depot, the post became an animal processing center for the cavalry and artillery. Here, horses were received, examined, cared for, and eventually issued to mounted units. In 1885, the first African American soldiers of the 9th Cavalry arrived. At that time, the U.S. Army was totally segregated, with 2 cavalry regiments composed of black soldiers. But from 1885 through 1907, the majority of the troops stationed at Fort Robinson were African American. In the campground area, there's everything from primitive campsites to full hookup spots, with the scenic and historic backdrop of Pine Ridge. Only half of the electric sites can be reserved, with all other spots being first come, first served. They even offer equestrian camping for those of you who bring your own horse to ride the scenic trails. Nebraska Game and Parks requires passes to be purchased for all motorized vehicles parking at Fort Robinson. This meant for us 2 passes for each day for a motorhome towing a car, which greatly increased the cost for us. Just an hour away, you'll find one of the best roadside attractions we've ever seen. Just north of Alliance, Nebraska, stands a replication of Stonehenge, England's ancient mystical alignment of stones. CARhenge, as it's called, towers over the plains of Nebraska. The artist Jim Renders studied the design and purpose of Stonehenge while living in England. Upon returning to Nebraska, he and the rest of the family built this as a memorial in 1987 to his father who had lived on the farm where it now stands. To assume the same proportions as Stonehenge, 38 real automobiles were used. Some are partially sunk into the ground while others forming the arches have been welded into place. All of this is covered with gray spray paint. How many of these cars can you identify?
How many of these cars can I identify?
Yeah.
This one here looks like a Plymouth because it says Plymouth. That one there looks like a Caddy. It's like a few of them are Cadillacs. Gremlin up there.
Additional sculptures have been erected at the site, known as the Car Art Reserve. There's a campground adjacent where you can wake up to a view of CARhenge, and there's more information in this video's description. From Fort Robinson, it was just 17 miles to Toadstool Geological Park. That's located in the Oglala National Grassland. It really feels like being on another planet. The interpretive kiosk explains the bizarre geology and provides historical information as well. There you can use the self-pay to park at $3 per vehicle per day. However, there's also primitive camping there for $15 a night, and that includes the day use fee. So these are the campsites. Very primitive, but clean. I don't think any are big enough for a 40-footer, for sure. Let's say under 25 feet. No hookups, like I said. $15 a night. At the park, you'll find 3 hiking trails to choose from with varying degrees of difficulty. We chose the 1-mile interpretive loop due to higher than average temperatures and having Dexter with us. We grabbed a brochure from the kiosk and followed the numbered posts located across the rock formations. Ready, Dexter? Ready to walk? Okay. Yay! Each guidepost explains the geological formations or history of what you will see at that station. It's very otherworldly. Kind of feels like the Flintstones. So here's a perspective of how tall these things are. Right behind me here. It's kind of cool because this week Jamie's been watching old original Lost in Space episodes. Dr. Smith and the robot and Will, and they very much could have shot it like here. I know they use mostly places in California, but they easily could have made this look like another planet. That's the Bison Trail. You go up the river. We'll stay on the Toadstool loop for now anyway. Something to see back there. Go check it out. It's pretty cool up here. It's a cave. You can see the agate back in here.
Picture.
That's a whole nother view. It's a shady spot. Put your whole body in. There you go. Yeah. Natural benches right here and our final viewpoint, and we can see the campground down there in Nebraska's Badlands. Again, a well placed marker, so you really can't get lost if you look for the markers, and then there's signs in between that point to where markers are. The fossil deposits that have been found here tell a story of animal life as far back as 30 million years ago. Definitely not an easy trail. I don't know if you'd rate it as hard, difficult, because it's still a short trail. But the people in front of us just had regular kind of tennis shoes on, athletic shoes, and they were slipping quite a bit. There's also a sod house, which is a type of cabin. Although it was built in 1984 by the Forest Service, it does replace a sod house that used to stand nearby that was built in 1929 and was lived in briefly. The next day, we traveled 48 miles to nearby Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. The monument sits on beautiful grass-covered plains. Until the 1880s, this prairie was hiding complete prehistoric mammal skeletons that were eventually unearthed here. Some species previously were only known through fragments. These fossil hills contain some of the premier paleontological sites in North America. In the early 1900s, thousands of bones were found that define the early Miocene and the age of mammals. As you enter the visitor center, a life-size diorama showcases mounted skeletons of the mammal discoveries found in the nearby quarries. Rancher James Cook first found fossils in the hills near what would become his ranch in the 1880s. Encounters with paleontologists stimulated his interest in the fossils, and when this Nebraska ranch later became his home, he was keen to explore for fossil beds. He found just what he was looking for above in the rolling hillsides and plains and quickly brought it to the attention of paleontologists. They then visited and worked at the Agate Springs bonebed quarries, unearthing this now globally famous 19.2 million year old bonebed in the Carnegie and University Hills. James Cook first arrived in Nebraska at the age of 17 as a young cowboy. He learned Indian Sign as well as some spoken language of the Sioux. He met 53-year-old Lakota chief Red Cloud and developed a 35-year friendship. The legendary chief and other members of the Lakota and Cheyenne tribes erected tents and teepees on his land. They stayed and told stories, danced, and exchanged gifts, which now make up the James Cook collection here at Agate Fossil Beds National Monument. We chose to hike the 2.8-mile Fossil Hills Trail that takes visitors to the historic dig sites to explore the source of the famous fossil discoveries. On the way, we walked across a boardwalk that took us over the natural wetlands and the Niobrara River. However, there are currently no fossil displays on this trail. So they think that as a drought came on, they got closer and closer to the watering hole. And plants they ate further and further away, and they finally just laid down in the muddy watering hole and died there. They estimate as many as 1,600 of these rhinoceros-like animals died here in this watering hole. Well, this was a really beautiful walk. I don't know if I would do it again unless we went on a ranger walk, because there's a few signs at the end. I mean, it's a couple miles uphill, so I would only recommend doing this on one of the days where you can go on a ranger guided walk and have the ranger point out what we seem to be missing here. I mean, it's a beautiful country, but it's a long drive out here to really not be able to understand what we're looking at. That's my 2 cents. Unfortunately, we did not have the time to also walk the 1-mile Damon Elix Trail. It features encased fossil exhibits of the spiral corkscrew fossil of the Paleocastor, an ancient land beaver that lived here in the Miocene. We only explored one corner of the state on this journey through Nebraska, but we hope we've convinced you that despite Nebraska's attempt to market itself as not for everyone, there really is something for everyone.
Hey roamers, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Roaming with Rosie. For more information regarding this video, please check out the links in the video description below,
as well as products and equipment we use and recommend. We sometimes do receive a small commission when you use our links for purchases, which is a great way at no additional cost to you to help offset some of our production costs. Thank you so much for watching and sharing our videos and subscribing to Roaming with Rosie. We'd love to hear from you and encourage your comments and questions. Until next time, see ya!